Today, I am going to discuss the third module from the chapter Political Parties. We have seen in the previous modules that political parties are very important in democracy and they are performing large number of functions. At the same time, all over the world, there are strong dissatisfactions against political parties, the way they are working. And you know that in most of the democratic countries, there are so many allegations against political parties in the form of corruption, nepotism, mismanagement, and so many other unwanted way of functioning by the political parties. So, political parties are facing so many challenges nowadays. So, all over the world, people express strong dissatisfaction with the failure of political parties to perform their functions well. Now, political parties just want to come into power, and after winning election, they completely forget to perform their duties as promised by them during the time of elections. So, this has created strong dissatisfaction among the people, and people are opposing political parties. And this is the area of concern in our country too. So, India is the biggest democratic country in the world. Here also, the people are totally unhappy with the political parties, the way they are working. Popular dissatisfaction and criticism has focused on four problems areas in the working of political parties. Political parties need to face and overcome these challenges in order to remain effective instruments of democracy. Whenever people find out and point out the mistakes of political parties should accept it and try to correct their mistakes. If they do not accept their mistakes and correct, the people have some other option to throw them out and bring some other set of political parties into power. Anyway, political parties are very important, but political parties should keep their promises and function well for the welfare of the people and the nation. In the modern democracies, political parties are facing four challenges. So, one question you can expect here: what are the main challenges to the political parties? So, political parties are facing four major challenges. The first challenge is here. The first challenge is lack of internal democracy within the parties. All over the world, there is a tendency in political parties towards the concentration of power in one or few leaders at the top. Parties do not keep membership registers, do not hold organizational meetings, and do not conduct internal elections regularly. Ordinary people of the party do not know what is actually happening within the party, or they do not get any information from the parties and top leaders. They do not have the means or the connections needed to influence the decisions. As a result, the leaders assume greater power to make decisions in the name of the party. In short, we can say that whenever a party is formed, the party is claiming that they are standing for democracy. You know what is the meaning of democracy, right? Now, within the party, there is no democracy. The top leaders, they assume greater power. They decide everything in their own way. They never consult with their party members, or party members do not get any chance to meet top leaders, or party members do not get any power to influence the decisions of party leaders. So party leaders, top level leaders, they assume greater power and they appoint their own people in different posts within the party. So a common worker, a common man in the party doesn't get any chance to occupy good post within the party, right? That is a major challenge, the first challenge of the political parties, the lack of internal democracy within the party, which means within the party there is no democracy. The top leader takes all decisions without consulting other party members. The second challenge is dynastic succession. Dynastic succession. Since most political parties do not practice open and transparent procedures for their functioning, there are very few ways for an ordinary worker to rise to the top in the party. Those who happen to be the leaders are in a position of unfair advantage to favor people close to them or even their family members. In many parties, the top positions are always controlled by members of one family. This is unfair to other members of that party. This is so bad for democracy. The meaning is that you might have seen or you are aware of that some parties are controlled by one particular family. So I don't like to mention any particular family here, but you are well aware of that. So whoever takes birth in that family keep on coming to that power in that particular political party. Father to son, son to great grandson. So such a way it will keep on going on. One family means one party. Is not good. If you are a common worker and join in the party at the age of 15, and even now you are at the age of 75, you may remain as a common worker in the party even though you are well prepared and educated and you have earned lot of experience within the party does not elevate you to the higher positions. And always one party members are always one family controls the party, and the family members, whatever may be the qualification or ability, without even that they are coming to the positions in the party. It is actually against the democracy. So the dynastic succession, one family keep on coming to power or keep on controlling the party, is totally against the political democratic ethics. The third challenge is about the growing role of money and muscle power in parties, especially during elections. Since parties are focused only on winning elections, they tend to use shortcuts to win elections. They tend to nominate those candidates who have or can raise lot of money. Rich people and companies who give funds to the parties tend to have influence on the policies and decisions of the party. In some cases, parties support criminals who can win elections. Democrats all over the world are worried about the increasing role of rich people and big companies in democratic politics. In short, we can say that in order to win election, political parties use so many tricks. They have a lot of money. This money they might have raised through donations from common people or some companies or well-wishers of the party. Political parties do not file income tax, so most of their income is illegal. This money they are using to win elections, to purchase vote from the people, to bribe people. Okay, and the same way during the time of election, political parties keep some people with a criminal background or people who can offer huge amount of money to the political parties as donation as the candidate. And the main aim of the political party is to win election anyway. For that, they may go to any extent. And also, nowadays, one more tendency you can see in political parties that during the time of election, large number of criminals are joining in the party. What are they doing? They jump from one party to another party and offer huge amount of money as a donation to the political parties, and within minutes political parties admit them to the party and also give them tickets to contest in election. This is totally against the political and democratic ethics. Anyway, because of these reasons, people all over the world are totally worried about the way political parties function. And one more thing we need to reiterate here is that it's a universal phenomena that all over the world, some rich people and big companies, they are influencing political parties by paying or by giving them a huge amount of money as a donation. Once the political parties take money from these companies and rich people, political parties, when they come into power, they take decisions favoring these companies and these companies and big people. So in such a way, people started losing their faith in political parties. The fourth challenge is that very often parties do not seem to offer a meaningful choice to the voters. In order to offer meaningful choice, parties must be significantly different. In recent years, there has been a decline in the ideological differences among the parties in most part of the world. For example, the difference between the Labour Party and the Conservative Party in Britain is very little. They agree on more fundamental aspects but differ only in detail how policies are to be framed and implemented. This is the case in India too. We have so many parties in our country registered with Election Commission. And if you look into their policies and programs, most of the policies and programs will be same of all parties, and maybe some policies will be different. That is not sufficient. In India or in many parts of the world, political parties have failed to come up with new policies and programs to the people. Instead of that, what are they doing? They follow their traditional policies and programs, and they are different in one way. In the way they are implementing these policies, they are different. Otherwise, in principles, their policies are same. So these political parties do not offer any meaningful choice to the people. How can parties be reformed? Legally, political parties can be changed or reformed in three ways. First, the anti-defection law. The constitution was amended to prevent elected MLAs or MPs from changing parties. This was done because many elected representatives were indulging in defection in order to become ministers for cash rewards. Now, the law says that if any MLA or MP changes parties, she or he will lose the seat in the legislature. When an elected MLA or MP changes his party without resigning his post, which is known as defection. As per the new rule, when an elected MP or MLA changes his party, on the spot his post will be cancelled. As per the new law, that is anti-defection law, an elected MP or MLA cannot change party or parties without resigning his post. The second way by which political parties can be changed is to file an affidavit. Affidavit means the statement of truth. Statement of truth. The Supreme Court passed an order to reduce the influence of money and criminals in politics. Now, it is mandatory for every candidate who contests elections to file an affidavit, means statement of truth, giving details of his property, criminal cases pending against him, and education qualifications, and so on. The new system has made a lot of information available to the public. Previously, public was not aware of the qualities of a candidate. Now, or political parties used to hide the background of those candidates. Nowadays, it's clear, it's available in Election Commission's website that what are the qualities, education qualification, criminal background, how many cases are pending against the candidate, and total properties in his name, in his spouse name. Also, it's different way a candidate's details are available to the public. From these, we can choose who is best. And the third one is that third way by which we can change political parties is that political parties to hold their organizational elections and file their income tax returns. Election Commission passed an order making it necessary for political parties to hold their organizational elections and file their income tax returns. The parties have started doing it so, but sometimes it is mere formalities. See, if you look into these political parties, every political party is saying that they are standing for democracy. But actually, one side, even though they say that they are standing for democracy, in another side, within the party, there is no democracy. They do not conduct organizational elections to choose leaders within the party, or these political parties are not filing income tax returns on time. They have huge amount of money. They might have received large amount of money as a donation from the public or from the well-wishers, and they do not file income tax. This money is actually a major weapon for these political parties to fight elections. They use this money for illegal purposes, and there is a competition between political parties that which party can canvass or spend huge amount of money in getting people's support. You have seen one question, how can parties be reformed? Now one more question, provide some suggestions to reform political parties. So as a student, you need to provide some suggestions, whatever comes to your mind. How can parties be reformed? As a suggestion. There are 6 points here. I'll explain it. A law should be made to regulate the internal affairs of political parties. Within the party, there will be some issues. So, to resolve all those issues, a law should be passed to control the problems within the party. So, it should be made compulsory for political parties to maintain register of its members. Most of the political parties do not keep the membership registers, and also every political party should have its own constitution for its members and top leaders, and also this party should have one person within the party to act as a judge in case any problem or any problems come within the parties. The third point, it should be made mandatory for political parties to give a minimum number of tickets, about one third, to women candidates. Simple thing is that when large number of women